Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you have just discovered my channel. Now, sometimes ago I did a series of video about the method reduce, which is a method I love because you can do so much with it. And I thought I will also make a video series about replace because I think there's so much you can say about replace, especially when used with regex, that I shouldn't try to cover it in one video. So first of all, like I did with my reduce series, in the first video I will just give you the simple version, and we'll talk about we'll go a little bit into the more complicated with regex, and also I will show you a few examples with regex um, that will steer your imagination, and will show you what we will cover in the next video. So I will just show you some examples. I will not show you how they work. I will just show you the simplest ones, but on the more complicated one I will just show you like what they do, and then I will cover them in the next videos. So going to the basics, there's a few things you should know. A simple replace use will only replace the first instance in the string. So if you're trying to replace a space with a comma, it will only replace, if you just say replace space with comma, it will just replace the first instance of it. It will not replace them all. Now, a second thing, there is a replace all method, and I will show it here, but this was only introduced into JavaScript recently, so it is advised not to use it for now because some browsers may not support it yet. So I will not suggest to use this for now unless you are not worried about older browsers and stuff like that. And then you may ask, but how do I, what do I do? Do I have to make like some kind of loop if I want to like replace all the instances of space with a comma, or of something with something else? And the answer is no. You can use regex, and there's some pretty easy uses of replace with regex, especially when you're just trying to replace something like a space. And of course there's some more complicated ones if you want to do some like amazing thing, you know. uh, but yeah, we'll go to the more complicated ones as well, but I will show you a few of the regex uses in this one as well. And the third thing to know, and a very important one, is to remember that replace does not change the original string. So if you're saying like a string that the string that you have replaced, and you're replacing something, it will not change the original string. You have to it basically creates a new one. So if you have a string like this, const word equal something, and then you do something replace s with none, maybe, right? Now if I do a console log of word, you will see that something is not defined. Okay, I think oh right, it's not something replaced. It's this is such a funny mistake. So you're just saying word replace, so you're replacing in this word s with none. And if I clear this here, and you can see it's still something because it's not changing it. It basically returns a new string. So if you want to change actually this one, then this one shouldn't be a const, it should be a let, so you can change it. And what you would do, you would say word, you would basically assign it a new value, and you will say word equals word replace, and then now it will actually be replaced, right? It replace the s with none, right? So I'm gonna delete this here. So you can see this is the basic structure of a replace. I'm going back here. I don't know why I deleted that. Right. So basically, you have the variable which is a string, and you call replace. You give the thing to replace, and the thing to replace it with, right? The string to replace it with. And we can see that if we have something like SOS and we're saying replace S with N, you will see that it only replaces the first one, right? NOS, right? So it only replaces the first instance. Now, like I said, I will show you that this works, at least here. It might not work. I tried it in Google Chrome console and it worked there, but it doesn't work on all the browsers. So I would say to not use it if you're not sure that you don't want to risk it, right? So yeah, so like you see, it's not working here because it is not yet implemented everywhere. So don't use this one for now. So if you want to replace all the S's, then you need to use the normal replace, and then you would use a regex, right? And the way you do a regex, instead of making it like a string like this, which is a string and you write something, a regex is something like this. And for example, to replace an S, you just put between these two things an S. And if I use this now, you will be like, but wait, it's still only replacing the first instance. And why it does that is because in regex you have to you basically give it some flags after these two lines and the regex inside. You give it some flags, like for example G, it means global. So if you put G now, a G, it will mean global and it will replace all of them, right? So if I do something like that, you can see now it replaces all of them, right? But what if I do this, right? We will still replace them all. Let's see. Oh, it didn't replace the first one. And what if I wanted to replace that one? What if I don't want to care about if it's lowercase or uppercase? Then I also have another flag, which is the insensitive flag. And now if I use this one, then I'm getting replaced everywhere, right? So you can see with the regex you can basically do multiple replaces, but the power in regex is that you can basically have like, I mean, this is not gonna be a tutorial about regex. I will have a tutorial about regex in the future. Even at the moment I'm not like an expert in it, but I know some stuff, so I'm studying more of it. And when I feel like I have a good grasp, I will make a tutorial as well, because some people just think I am good at explaining, so I guess I'll make one. But anyway, like for example, what if you want to you have like a sentence like this, I am a programmer, right? I write beautiful code and I love it. And let's say for some, and I love it, let's just say I love it with a comma, because I want to exemplify something, right? What if you want to replace all the punctuation with something else, like maybe a line like this, right? What if you want to replace all of them? So you want to replace both the comma and the dot and maybe all the spaces as well with a line like that. So what you do, you basically use an or, which you can use like an or inside a regex, and you say you want a comma or a space, which a space in regex you write it like this, right? Or a dot, right? And I'm not sure if I have to put this one first, because in regex there are some things that you have to escape and stuff like that. So let me just put this one first to be, I think this one should be first, right? So let's check. Actually it doesn't matter here because we have an or. I don't think it matters here, right? Let's see. So we want to replace all of this with a line. Let's see what's going on. Maybe like this. is going on? Yeah, like this. So let me clear this. And what is going on? It replaces, oh no. Yeah, this is because the dot in regis it actually means everything, right? So what you want to do is you want to escape it. You want to escape the dot, so you can say, you want to say, I mean an actual dot, not a dot which means everything, like it matches everything, right? So you want to escape that one. So clear and try again. And as you can see, it replaces everything that's not like all the spaces and the comma and dot. It replaces them with a line, right? And I can say, okay, I don't want actually the spaces, I just want the dot and the comma, right? So I take this from here, and then it will just replace those two. What's going on? It still replaces that one. Did I save it? Wait, I have an additional or that I don't need here. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, it only replaces those one, this dot, this comma, and this dot. Okay. So yeah, with regex you can like go a lot into it. And now what I'll do, I will show you a few like more complex examples that I won't actually explain now, but I will make some next videos in this series that will explain each of them. And if I find more interesting examples at some point in the future, I will add more to the series. So let's go through a few of them which look quite interesting. I will copy them from here. Let's go maybe with this one first, right? So I'll copy this one. Maybe I shouldn't, yeah. So I'll copy this one from here and uncomment it. And let's say you have a string, like it can be like a long text. It doesn't have to be this short. Imagine it's a long string, right? And you have to basically replace all the numbers that have 3 digits in them, and they have and only the numbers that have 3 digits, and the digits in them are like the second one is the first one plus 1, and the third one is the second one plus 1. So the numbers that would match in just this text would be 345 and 123, because 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. This one wouldn't match because it doesn't match. 4 plus 1 is not 6, right? So we want all the numbers that are like that in our string, which can be a long text, like even a complete book or something. And for some reason, we want only those numbers. We want to put a dollar sign. We want to replace them with the same number, but with a dollar sign in front of it. And this is if you didn't have a regex replace, you probably would have to do something way more complicated. But with just this thing, you get this. It's clear, so you can see it, and you can see that it replaces only these two ones with putting a dollar sign in front of them, but not this one. Okay, so quickly show to this one. Let's go to another one. Now I'll copy this one. Okay, and again, imagine this is like a long text like a book, and you want to do a replace on it, and you want to have like some kind of dictionary. You want to replace each instance of a word in the book with another word, like maybe the translation of that word. And like you can see in this one, I said that I want to replace all the colors that are in this text, which could be long, and I have the translation from English to Romanian. I am Romanian. From red to roșu, yellow to galben, blue to albastru, right? And I'm basically creating here a regex, which I will explain what's going on here in the video when I'm actually explaining this. And then I'm doing a replace with a regex and a function, and basically I am accessing through this object. I'm basically matching these things and I'm replacing them with their value in the object, right? And the nice thing about this one is you can always come and add a new value that you would like change everywhere in the text, like for example purple, right, with mauve, right? And if I put here, and this is purple, right, then, well, let's check first without it that it actually works, because I didn't show you that it works. So as you can see, this is the text, and if I clear this and do this, you can see that here now you have Roshu, here you have Albasto, and here's Galba. Now we're going back to what we did before, and we're saying, and this is purple, and if I clear it and do this now, you can see that it also changed purple to mauve. So you just have to add the translation that you want here, and you basically do everything for you. Okay, so I will explain this one in another video, but it looks quite interesting, isn't it? So okay, let's go to another example. Let's go to, okay, I'll go somewhere at the top. Now this one is something that I came up just thinking about example, because I was studying more about the replays, trying to see how fast you can go down the rabbit hole, you know, like Alice. Yeah, so anyway, I was thinking if you can actually do something like this, and it seems like it works, so I will show it to you. I actually got quite excited when I saw that you can do something like this in JavaScript. I thought I will never get that feeling again. Once you're starting to learn a lot of things, you think, oh, I'm never gonna discover something that I'm excited about, and it just shows how much is to know about JavaScript. Right, so what's happening here? I have an object, and let's say that I have to multiply all the values of all the properties by 2. Now this is like just a simple example, but you can have like some complicated logic that you need to do with your object that can be much more easily done by using a regex, by matching some certain things than just by using logic. This what I'm doing here, like multiplying all these values by 2, maybe shorter or faster with some other like mapping to the object values and multiplying them and stuff like that. But it's interesting, you can actually change this to a string by using JSON stringify, doing a replace, matching all these things, doing a replace, and then transforming this back to an object. So if here, as you can see, I'm stringifying it, I'm doing a replace, and then I'm parsing it, and it becomes back an object, and I'm console log. And if I do this, you can see that this has multiplied all the values by 2. And along similar lines, I have another one, which, let's say you need to change all the properties, right? This as well. Let's say you have to change all the properties. I have to change all the properties in maybe a big object or an object that I'm getting somewhere. For some reason, I need to change them all and put like new in front of them. In front of each one, I want to have new for some reason, right? Or some other more complicated logic that you can more easily like match with regex than trying to look in a string and like check different things, right? So but this one is a more simpler one. I just wanted to check if you can actually do this with an object, right? So you can see now when I do JSON parse, console log JSON parse names, you can see that now all the properties have a new in front of them, new Marian and new John, right? Okay, let's see if we have another one. Okay, yeah, we have another one here. Now now this one is basically along the same lines. You can do the same thing if you have an array, and for example you want to multiply all the even numbers in the array, you want to multiply them by 10. Now obviously this is going a bit too far to use a JSON parse and a JSON stringify and replace to do that, because you can easily do that with a map. So you wouldn't do that for something like this. But if you have some more complicated logic and you have to match the elements in the array with some pattern, it's probably easier to do with a regex than trying to map to them and do all of them by hand. I don't know, maybe, but it's interesting how you can do stuff like that. Basically stringify an array, replace stuff, and then change it back to an array. So yeah, all these examples will be explained in future videos. And probably if I keep playing with this and I find some more interesting stuff, I will explain more stuff, and probably I will explain along the way. Maybe I will get one video where I explain more about how to use replace with regex, and explain a little bit more about regex and stuff you can do with it together with replace. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like a little bit amazed as well about what you can do with replace. And if you did learn something, please give a like, subscribe. It does help me to grow this channel, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you in the next video, and check out my videos about challenges. You may learn something from there as well. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.